Hi, and welcome to the world of Drakengard. I am Brandon.
I am Alec.
And I'm Zach. And this here will be played for us by Brendan, because I know nothing about Drakengard, and neither does Alec.
I have no idea.
Yep, we are going in, there is voice acting at this point. We have the, as usual, because we have to explain this at the beginning of every video, we have the TV down so that it does not echo into the actual recording.
In only a short
this may be mostly a silent LP because I want to really give this story the grandiose it deserves. And plus, there will be subtitles, so we can talk here and there if you want to leave any comments.
Alright.
Drakengard is heavily based around its story. Like, you wouldn't recognize that by looking at the back of the case. The back of the case literally just advertises the gameplay of Drakengard. What is Drakengard? It's published by Square Enix. Unfortunately, it does not mention the company's name. But the reason of what drove me to Drakengard was that it was developed by the same people as Nier, a PS3, Xbox 360 RPG that I discovered some years ago, that I heard good things about its story, and I played it, and I was absolutely immersed into Nier's story, which completely was the exact opposite of my reactions when I got Final Fantasy 13 for Christmas. I was blown away by just how much I despised that game's story and characters. But to be fair, I haven't really enjoyed Final Fantasy since probably 9. But anyway, this is, if I am pronouncing it right, this is Kane. He's more of a, I would say he's both the commander of this army and also the protector of one of the seals, which is the girl you saw in the cutscene before, who he adores like a sister, although the game seems to hint that she's not really his sister. Now, to actually get into what Drakengard actually is, it's hard to explain. It's sort of an action RPG, but it's also sort of a hack and slash at the same time. But unlike most hack and slashes, it has a very much a JRPG style to its storytelling. The game is written in a very medieval kind of way, as you'll see by the dialogue later on. The writing in this game is very good, and that's the thing that brought me to this, because I hear, just like with Nier, it had very good story and writing, and it does. The voice acting in this game is excellent. The actors are trying their damnedest, no matter what age they are, and okay, before we begin each level, the game will put up these screens, allowing you to choose which weapons we want to go into combat. We only have one, Kane's sword, so we're going to just go on with that. But these basically explain either what you just saw in that cutscene, but with a little bit more context to it, or what may be coming up in the story. Ferrier, that you heard Kane call for earlier on, is his sister, one of the seals. Basically, the seals I was talking about are what keep the world in Drakengard in balance, and if those seals are destroyed, then the world basically falls into chaos. This is the typical story of rebels fighting against an empire, which is ironic considering that Zach and Alec just got done watching the original Star Wars.
The theatrical release.
Indeed. Basically Kane is fighting against the Empire. Now, the controls for Drakengard, very typical. I'm of course doing a lot of these moves before the tutorials is telling me to. But you press square to do a basic attack like this. You'll notice that when he does his combo, you see his sword flash during that first hit. If you hit triangle as you make that first hit, you can do a ranged attack like that to make a shockwave. Now, as you get different weapons throughout this game, each one has a different type of ranged attack. Some of them are like that, where it's just a shockwave. Others will send out beams. You just have to adapt to your style, and a lot of times you'll need the different types of weapons to deal with certain types of enemies. You'll get, and not just swords, you'll get axes, you'll get lances, you'll get all sorts of stuff. You'll get small daggers, which despite their small range can also attack much faster. The sword is basically, obviously the most balanced weapon. It's the end all. It's the one that you'll probably end up be using the most. And what you saw me just see there is that if you press the triangle button during normal gameplay, just by doing a ranged attack, you can also do magic. Each weapon also comes with its own magic. Some of ice, some of lightning, and the great thing is, multiple weapons can have lightning, multiple weapons can have ice, but each elemental has different effects. Like sometimes you'll shoot ice spears, or like a giant ice dagger will fall from the sky. Sometimes you can have little shadow ghosts that swarm around you that cause extra damage as you attack enemies. Now you click the right thumbstick to bring up your map. Doing just the normal pause just brings up the pause. As you can see, we actually do have a remaining time limit for this mission, about maybe an hour, which is the normal time limit. Sometimes it gets lower depending on what is going on in the story. I'm going to try to complete these missions as fast as possible. But basically, you see those little dots on the map. Those are the enemies we have to go after to kill on our way to the castle to save Furia.
I'm getting a small sort of Dynasty Warriors-ish, but only because...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It definitely has that vibe, but the difference, of course, is that there's not nearly as many enemies on screen as there is in Dynasty Warriors.
No,
yeah.
but I also got a Dynasty Warriors feel because if you run for a long enough time, you see
that
this...
sprint thing, yeah.
Yeah, you see the
Oh,
sprint
yes! And thank you for bringing it up. That's an attack I forgot to mention. If you run far enough, you'll be able to do a dash attack, which can sometimes, with many weapons, do a massive amount of damage to enemies. Like so.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to do in Dynasty Warriors too, although I've only played 6, so I don't know.
Those green orbs you just saw, well, thankfully, if you do well in combat, orbs will appear. Sometimes there'll be green ones that come in small and large varieties that refill your health, which is the yellow bar at the bottom of the screen. The green bar is your magic, which can be refilled pretty much just by fighting and killing enemies. You also find red orbs. Red orbs cause explosions in the same way that your ranged attack does, and are very useful to cause double shockwaves on top of your normal ranged attack. It can be very helpful, especially when taking down some of the game's tougher enemies.
You said before we started off camera that this game was panned for not looking very good.
Yes.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't think this looks that bad.
It's normally the lack of color. This
okay.
game is mostly just a lot of grays.
Yeah, I can see that.
And no, there doesn't get to be much more variety in the environments. You go to like forests and stuff, but it's mainly the same color palette. But I'm going to try to just focus on the targeted enemies so we can move along with the story. Because this game has a very good story. And why is it called Drakengard? We were partly pronouncing it wrong. It's Drakengard with a K. Drakengard. But there is a dragon in this game, and we'll get to that coming up here if we if we don't run out of time, and then I'll do it in another part. Oh, also, and I don't know why the game has this as an option, but you click the left thumbstick to bring up the enemy's health bars. I don't know why you would ever turn that off.
Yeah, I never
you have
would.
the option to.
Alright.
Excuse me.
Oh, I think
Fine.
Drakengard does that too. Where you can turn off the health meter. I don't know what would be the point of doing that. Like,
What else we got? Okay, yep, we got.
I guess if
more.
you want their death to be a surprise.
yeah. It's like, oh, I killed him. Alright.
Now, when you talk about weapons, is it like regular RPGs where you buy new ones and they happen to have certain stats to them depending on what you buy? Or is it like most hack and slashes where as the story goes along you get specific weapons for a specific purpose?
It's interesting in this game. You'll get weapons sometimes just for doing missions, and you'll get them by finding them in treasure chests scattered throughout the land, like so. Treasure chests normally... Okay, are we going to get a weapon, or are we going to get... Okay, no. Most of the time, the treasure chests just drop off health, which, in the harder levels, is extremely useful. But yes, sometimes you'll find treasure chests that will have the weapon inside. Basically, no, the weapons do not have any specific purpose. You're just... You don't... Like, yes, some are more useful to certain enemies, but you can use whatever weapon you want, and you see the XP I'm gaining. Your character never ups his stats. Actually, well,
No.
sort of. He has an experiment. The only thing he ups in experience is his health bar. The thing you're mostly earning up with your XP is your is the power of your weapons, which can be upgraded, which increases the size of their magic bar and adds on more moves to their combo, allowing you more chances to get in a ranged attack besides just the opening move, like so. And also adds more layers to the steps the magic attack takes. Okay, done with that side. Let's move on. Finally, we're getting up there. Okay.
You can only have one weapon equipped at a time. I'm guessing during these sections.
Yes, holding down R2 brings up your weapon bar. Of course, we have nothing yet.
Okay, so you
between
can.
them.
Okay, so you can switch between them during the gameplay.
Yes.
Pretty
Cool. Oh yeah. You can which allows you to. I mean, the great thing about that is it allows you to balance which ones you upgrade in a level. You can just balance out which ones you're using to give each of them proper upgrades for proper times to level up. Oh, yep, red orb. There we go.
I'm guessing the only way to level up a weapon is to just use it.
Be the ravens.
Yes. Pretty much.
Just use it a lot.
Yes. The experience you see coming off the enemies goes to that weapon that you're using. On top of also going to eventually upgrade your health if it fills up the bar at the end of the level.
And I'm assuming weapons have no durability meter. They won't break or anything.
No, they do not. They never break. They are always with you. However, you only have 8 weapons you can carry at a time. That does sound like a lot. And even where I'm at in the game, I still haven't filled up all of my weapon bar. I still have enough. Also, the nice thing about holding down triangle to use magic, that's invincibility.
Oh, okay.
You're totally invincible during that animation.
That's nice, at least.
Yep. As we kill enemies, a new objective has come up, and now we have to retreat into the castle. Now we have to fight a much harder enemy up at the gates of the castle. And then retrieve the key he holds, and then move on. Okay, here we go.
The Empire soldiers have got a dragon.
I must say, despite all the enemies on screen, it looks like the frame rate doesn't really drop that much.
Oh no, there's really no trouble with the frame rate in this game.
Okay, that's good.
Which I guess is partly attributed, just the quality of the graphics.
And also the view distance too, probably. Or
Yep.
like
I'll take good frame rate over
like being able to see far.
No, like I'd like to
Well,
see it far
that,
too. Just like I'll take good frame rate and good draw distance over having the graphics be pushing the system to its limits.
Now,
Okay,
can you
yes.
block in combat? Yes, you hold down L2 to block.
Okay.
Which also helps you target specific enemies. The problem is that sometimes there'll be so many enemies attacking you at once, as you saw there, that it's hard to...
Just focus on one.
The targeting system will get confused and not just focus on one. Treasure box has appeared containing our key. Now, where did it go? Okay, there it is. No thanks, guys. I'm cool. I got... no NLP, guys. I can't stop for you right now. Yes, now we can enter the castle. Where a dragon has been chained down inside.
Protect her.
Yeah, we have to slay it, right?
Protect Footy Eye.
I forget the context of that. I forget whether it was one of the empires that they chained down in there, or what happened. I guess the Union must have just caught it. But the dragon is dying. It is ripped apart and just laying in there, barely alive.
Ew. Is there a way to regain health during combat?
Yes, as I said, when you fight enemies, they will sometimes drop.
Oh yeah,
green
drop,
orbs.
Yeah, green
drop
orbs.
green
Also,
orbs.
the treasure
Okay, yeah.
chests you will find around the battlefield will sometimes have.
Yeah, that's right. You did mention
Will
that.
sometimes have health drops.
Oh.
For beating that level, we got a new weapon.
Bone
Ah, the
breaker.
bone breaker. Damn.
Jeez.
Yep, a long-range axe, and this is one of my favorite weapons in the game. Its magic is an earth spell that lifts up the land in front of you, which is a great weapon for just taking, especially when you're surrounded. Oh no, which weapons will I carry into battle? I think I'll equip this one. As you can see, we still have 6 more slots for weapons.
Okay.
So let's move on. We have nothing else we can do with that. We can't upgrade the weapon stats or anything. And the game is autosave if you turn it on.